Modern man lives by no laws and so has no virtue. He goes through his life unhappy because he doesn't have the discipline to grow. He is preoccupied with satisfying his primal urges and so has no control over his degeneracy. But the men of our tribe are different. We follow the 6 pillars of masculinity, and so we develop our minds and our bodies to a place of permanent bliss and joy. Every single day we act in accordance with our reason, with our nature, and so we live lives of purpose and direction. When we have a carnal urge, we question it and realise it doesn't come from the source. Which one do you want to be, bro? In this video, I'm going to lay out the 6 pillars of masculinity that you need to follow. And I'm not going to bullshit you here, right? I'm just going to say them right now. They are train, love, purpose, learn, suffer, and breathe. If you can watch to the end of this video, if you can gain a deep understanding of these 6 pillars, if you can start implementing them into your daily life, then you will gain unimaginable happiness. Happiness you've never experienced before, and happiness that way surpasses any degenerate who chases only pleasure. The first pillar is to train. And there was this famous quote by a Greek philosopher, I think it was Socrates, and he said, "It is a shame for a man to die without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." A man needs to train because everything else flows from it. I like to think about the gym like a cornerstone habit, right? So when you go and you train your body, you put the work in every single day. Well, not every single day, but 5 times a week. You build this kind of mentality that you're acting for your health. You're making decisions that are healthy and you're suffering for your health. And that kind of transcends just the gym, right? Because now you're going to make the better decisions in most scenarios, because you're going to have a choice between a cake and a fucking bag of almonds, right? And you're going to choose the almonds because what was the point in spending an hour and a half at the gym today if all you're going to do is eat a cake? You make the right decisions. The gym is a cornerstone habit. It builds discipline which flows throughout the rest of your life. And I mean, a big part of this is what we just spoke about, right? And it's that the gym inspires you to start eating better. And diet is such a crucial factor of this. It's such a crucial factor of training because it is exactly what fuels your soul, your body, and your mind. So part of train is you need to optimize your diet for perfect gains. And what we spoke about before was that this kind of diet is a diet that, unlike what you've been told so much by so many of like the nutrition experts who are all ran by like Coca-Cola and McDonald's, is you need to cut down on carb intake. You need to stop eating processed grains and complex carbs and stick to healthy whole fats and proteins primarily. You also need to eat enough, and that's the other thing, is when I go to the gym I eat so much more because I'm training to build muscle. I was calorie tracking for a while, for about 3 months before I went to the gym, and on average I'd probably only ever eat about 1,400 calories a day, right? Because it just didn't feel natural to eat more. But since going to the gym, since burning calories, since actually needing the food to grow, I've upped my calorie intake hugely, and the gym's really helped with that. I've started eating about 2,000, 2,300 calories a day, and the increase to my energy, the increase to my emotions, the increase to everything I've felt from that has been crazy. And I mean, the biggest benefit of going to the gym, to training every single day, and why you need to do it right now, is because of the psyche it builds. Going to the gym makes you see yourself as a king, right? Going to the gym creates a self-image within you that you're a hard-working, disciplined man. And to be honest, it creates the self-image within you that you are stronger than 99% of the people on this street and you could probably beat them up. That is essentially what the psyche comes down to be honest. And it's important. It's the most important part of the gym is that. It's that it builds the confidence within you, the self-confidence that you are a king. And then you can walk around the rest of the world and see it as your kingdom. And that goes back to the cornerstone habit, because if you are acting for your kingdom, if you are acting for the people around you, for your tribe, you will act well. You will act in their interests, and thus you will make the right decisions and act in your own interest as well. Now, the second pillar is to love. And the Emperor Marcus Aurelius had a great quote on this. He said, "To act for all men is to act according to one's own nature." To be content, a man needs to love. And this isn't a superficial love either. He needs to love his friends, his family, his woman. But more importantly, he needs to love his fellow man. This needs to go deep here. You need to love every single person on this planet and kind of feel the deep connection and unity that you have with them. You need to forgive them for any slight they ever did against you. You need to forgive them for the actions that they make and not get annoyed at them because they don't know any better. What you need to realize is that you are on the path now of an educated man. of a higher man. You live by virtue and by these 6 pillars. And so what good is it for you to blame people? What good is it for you to be angry at your fellow man for things that deep down in his heart he feels are right? To be angry at another man is to be angry at yourself. It is a reflection of your own insecurity. So you need to build a deep love for humanity. Humans are ignorant in the most part, and you are as well. You can't blame someone for something they didn't know was wrong in their deepest heart. And then to love also means to love yourself. To have the respect and to love your life enough that you start to make the right decisions and you start to live presently and fully. It is to live a life with love for every single thing you do, with passion, with sincerity and with fire. It's that whole idea of, I think it was in a David Dida book, right? It was that if you don't treat your life with love, then you bring onto yourself so much extra suffering from those things that you don't do with the present mind. Now, the third pillar is purpose, and a man needs a purpose in his life to feel any sort of achievement, to grow at all. If he does not have a purpose, his purpose must be to find his purpose. Too many men go through life these days purposeless, or serving someone else's purpose. I mean, think about that, right? The majority of jobs that you're doing, you are directly serving another man's goals, another man's purpose. You are working for someone else's goals to succeed. You are spending hours of your day to make someone else's purpose come true, and yet you won't spend a single second on your own. When you do that to yourself, subconsciously you're telling yourself that you don't respect yourself. You don't respect your mind, you don't respect your ambitions or your purpose, because you're willing to spend more effort on someone else's goals than your own. When a man has a purpose, he has direction. There is meaning behind every single thing he does, and he never needs to ask why. A man with a purpose is happy even if he doesn't achieve success or financial accumulation, because he's living in accordance with his nature. He's living in accordance with his direction and with his goals. If a man has no purpose, he will die sad, safe in the knowledge that all of the material accumulation he spent his entire life trying to gain will be lost forever. A man with a purpose, though, dies knowing that he's left a legacy. Material possessions will never make you happy, and you need to realize that now. You will achieve your dream life 1,000 times throughout the course of your life. Think about how many times you wish to be exactly where you are today. It's the nature of hedonic adaptation. People are never happy with their current circumstances. They always want more. And so setting as a goal material accumulation will never bring you anything more than discomfort and pain. A man who has found his purpose, though, will be completely content with nothing else. And this recently cropped up in my life, right? Because I've been going through a patch at the moment of my videos not performing particularly well. I've moved towards daily uploads, and so I haven't been able to get thumbnails out at the right frequency, and the videos aren't performing as well as they were before. And I got stressed and I got upset about that because I thought that I was failing. I got anxious and I got worried. But then I sat and I thought about it for a second, and I realized that the reason why I create these videos is because it aligns with my purpose. It's because even if 5 people do watch this video from start to finish, if those 5 people gain any value from it, I have succeeded in my goal. 1 view is a success story. And that's the other thing, is the suffering that you go through while pursuing your purpose is what grows you. Even if these videos don't do well, even if I achieve no financial success from them, I will have grown so much as a man because I wake up at 6 in the morning now to work on them, because I've studied so many books to write these scripts, because I've studied how to speak to a camera, how to persuade people. I've built so much discipline and so much education through the course of creating these videos that even just for myself, they have increased my value so much. Now, the 4th pillar is to learn. Men these days will go through their lives not adding a single thing to their brain from the useless facts they learn at school and the shit they learn on the job. Our minds are what separate us from animals. So what a shame it would be if we never developed ours. You need to educate yourself. You need to start reading primarily. And I mean, read anything you want to. Read fiction, read history, read philosophy, read self-help, read all of them. But educate yourself. Become a man that is well versed on the goings-on of the world, of the goings-on of the community around him. Because here's the thing, is when you read a book, you absorb another man's entire essence, right? And that sounds really weird, but think about it like this. Some people spend their entire lives working on a book. they'll write a great novel. People like Nietzsche, people like Kerouac, people like Albert Camus, they work so long writing these books. So much of their time, so much of their experiences, their unique life experiences have gone into the philosophies they've created, yet you can read them and fully understand them in 2 hours. Reading is one of the most powerful tools in the world because it lets you live 1,000 lives. It gives you the experience of 1,000 men. It grows you, it develops your mind so deeply. The 5th pillar is suffering, because every action a man takes leads to some sort of suffering. If you follow your purpose, you'll have to wake up earlier, you'll have to work harder. If you take a cold shower, you'll be freezing in the moment. If you eat a piece of cake, you'll feel sick afterwards. You need to decide now what you want to suffer for, because if you can take responsibility for an action, if you can own it, if you can say, I choose to suffer from this, you can accept the suffering it brings and thus remove its power over you. Suffering is hard because you don't want it, because it is unexpected. If you can choose certain actions though, if you can accept them as your own, you won't suffer for them anymore. Suffering is hard because you don't want it, because you don't expect it. But if you can choose certain actions, if you can accept them as your own, suffering becomes easy. It doesn't hurt anymore for me to wake up at 6 a.m. It doesn't hurt anymore for me to get into the cold shower, to freeze every day. I chose that suffering, and so it feels good to suffer for it. In fact, if I don't wake up at 6 a.m, if I wake up later, if I don't take a cold shower, that has now become when I truly suffer, because I feel like I've betrayed myself. I've betrayed the action that I chose. If you can choose some sort of suffering every single day, it will change your life so much. Because when you go through suffering, it makes the unexpected suffering that appears in your life so much easier. I'm going to be honest with you here, the easiest way to implement this trick is just to take cold showers. And don't do any of that pussy half and half shit of having a warm shower and a cold one at the end. Just step into your shower, count 3, 2, 1, and turn the water on full blast, full freezing cold. Because here's the thing, is when you have the choice, you can either choose to take a warm shower or a cold shower, but you choose the hard option. Your brain develops. You grow as a man one step further. And then later on that day, when something crops up, when some sort of stressor appears, it doesn't affect you as much because you've already gone through so much worse. Now the final pillar is to breathe. And this one's easier because it's just an actionable step you need to take every day. And that step is just to meditate. I mean, meditation, if you don't know, is basically sitting, breathing, and focusing on your breath. It's about focusing on retracting your thoughts. I mean, an easy way for beginners to meditate is to use guided meditations. And Medito is a great app for that. It's totally free, no adverts. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. But it has a great guided meditation every single day. But if you don't want to, you can also do unguided meditation where you just sit there and focus on your breathing. Try and think about listening to the silence is the best way that I can kind of describe it. It's really powerful though. And I don't want to hear the excuses here because so many people that I tell to meditate will tell me, oh, but I can't, my mind strays too much, I can't do it. And that is indicative of them completely missing the point of meditation, right? The purpose of meditation is to notice when your mind strays and to bring it back to your center, to your focus. So your mind straying, that's where the growth from meditation comes. If you had theoretically a meditation with absolutely zero thoughts, it wouldn't be as powerful for you as a meditation where you had to continuously drag your mind back to your breath. That is the purpose of meditation, is the control it gives you over your thoughts. I mean, a man that says to me that they can't meditate because they can't stay focused is stupid. It's like a man saying, oh, I don't want to go to the gym because I can't bench press 240 pounds. You need to develop this practice. You need to go through the tough, shitty bit at the start to get to the gains at the end of it. So those are the 6 pillars of masculinity. And if you can follow every single one of them, and if you can make an actionable step towards them every single day, then you will live a happy and successful life. And I mean, it's easy. It's not a hard thing to do. Go to the gym, hug your mum, work for a bit on one of your projects, read a book, meditate, and take a cold shower. That's it. Those are the 6 things that you need to do every single day to start living a life that has more happiness in it than you've ever experienced. It is such an easy thing to do, and so many of you won't do it. But if you can do this, if you can make those actionable steps, if you can listen and deeply understand what I've said, and I mean, it doesn't have to be those 6 things, but something to do with each pillar of masculinity, you will live a happy and successful life. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Leave a like and a comment. You'll find those right below the subscribe button. And join the Discord. You'll find the link for that in the description as well. It's full of a bunch of men just like you who are trying to better themselves and improve their lives. You can talk to them. You can talk to me about your self-improvement journey and your struggles. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Manifest excellence. Goodbye.